But you as an individual, what is it that even just motivates you? Do you know what? It's a new day, let me get up, instead of it's a new day, let me stay in my bed.
Yeah, you are right. The fact is that if you want 1,000 reasons to kind of keep you down, you find some. Yeah, but for me, what keeps me going every day is my purpose, which is about creating an enabling environment for people to succeed. And I always say that I've been a great beneficiary of people who just giving me half chances, and every passing day I look out to also give people that opportunity to also kind of succeed, whether it is the teams I work with, whether it is a young entrepreneur who knocks on my door with a proposal. It is about how can I, in my own small way, also give people an enabling environment for people to succeed.
Yeah. Wow. So when did you even realize or discover your purpose?
Yeah, it was an intriguing journey. I remember about 10 years ago, I was the executive assistant to one of our MDs, who is currently the MD of Safaricom Kenya. And he asked me a question, who are you, Roland? And I started mentioning my credentials. And it's like, bro, I'm not talking about your titles. I'm asking, who are you? If you strip all those things, what makes you Roland? And that sent me into a period of, retrospective thinking to ask myself, why do I exist, and what is that one thing that will keep fueling me to ensure that I'm consistent no matter the terrain I found myself. So it was a bit of an exercise. I think it took me like 2 or 3 weeks before I could know that this is my purpose. And there's a background to this. My mom used to tell me, I'm my mom's last born.
Oh, baby last.
And between myself and my next senior brother is 8 years. And the reason was that I wasn't intended to come on the scene. So my mom felt she was done. And then around that time there was some, she had marital issues with my dad. So they separated. And then they tried to bring them back. The family brought them back. And I was conceived. And then the issue started again. And my mom wanted to go and abort. She said she has done a couple of them, so it wasn't new. What saved my life was some Church of Pentecost crusade around the hood. And my mom heard the message and she was like, okay, I'll keep this baby. So I just felt that I was given a chance against all odds. And reflecting on that, I played incidents whereby people didn't think I deserved or I had a chance, but someone, a stranger, would say, hey, give this guy a chance. And I felt that this series of events is what has made me, and I felt that that is who I am, and that is how I ought to live my life every day.
Yeah. So you've given us a little bit of your childhood, but what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you faced, or what was the biggest challenge that you faced growing up, to even before you even got to where you are?
Yeah, broken homes always has a very devastating effect on kids. So it was a very difficult time for me. I think my parents separated when I was around 4 years, and there's always this clash of ideologies. You go to your mom, and your mom is turning you against your dad, and your dad is... So I think I'm a very independent person. And I think it came out of that, because it got to a point I was like, hey, there's too much noise, because I go to this person. Sometimes when I go on holidays, my school is changed, My mom would say, oh, let him come for holiday. Then my dad also, it was like, it wasn't sound for me. So that kind of made me a very independent. I decided to catch my own identity at a very early stage. And later on, I stayed most of my life with my mom. And things were quite tough, because my dad also had a lot of kids, and his policy was, give me my son to take care of. If you want to take care of him, then you are on your own. So though I had snippets of his influence at my early stages, I think the best thing he did for me, he kept sending me books. But day to day, I was with my mom. She was selling fish, and in some village in Saum, and it was tough, yes, you get food because it's extended family, but you know, going to school with money was quite difficult, you know. So I would go to school, and I think at a point I was called Kwesi Gari, you know, because Gari was the most affordable thing. And those days, you buy Gari, you know, before sachet water, we had that one that they tie. I don't know whether, yeah. So I'll buy that water, put my Gari inside, buy some sugar, I'll shake it, and I was cool, you know, and so there wasn't a lot to rely on, but I kept my head. I can be very jovial, and I make fun out of anything.
That's good.
And what I did was that because I was one of the best students in class, and most of my colleagues didn't like the maths. If you come for me to teach you, you have to bring something. You know, so yeah, so people will come bring bread. No, so like.
Oh, yeah, so that's the business started from there.
Yeah. So yeah, you must bring something for something. So yeah,
I like that.
And even getting books was difficult. So what I would do is that some of my mates will buy their books, and then I'll take the book over the weekend. I'll tell him that, let me go and summarize and find you, you know, the shortcut to studying this, and I'll go and buy a foolscap and copy. I'll copy everything over the weekend.
As in you'll write?
I will write. I can't buy the book. So
you write the whole book?
Yeah, so that's what I did with my weekends. I'll write the whole book, and then I'll hand over their books to them. And that kind of inspired me to always want to be on top of the class, because if you are good, people will bring
more things to you.
Yeah, they'll bring their books, say, Roland, help me understand this. And I'll say, you leave the book with me, you know.
Hey.
Yeah, so...
Wow, then it seems like from young you had this business mind. So I know you had your first job at 21.
Yeah.
Like what was that business? How did that come about?
Yeah, so it is an interesting story. So I think I was in my second year going to third year. And that time, one of my senior sisters, she paid my first year uni, and she said that was all she could do, you know. So second year, my dad sold some land, and I happened to be around, so I was able to get my fee. Third year, school had reopened, and I had my fees sorted. That time, what helped me was that there was this NIT loans. Mine never came, you know, for like 2 years. So finally, when I could get the money, it was enough to pay the fees. But now the challenge was, how do I survive? Because I didn't have anything on me. And that time, the only money available was about 50 cedis. Those days, it was 500,000, 50 cedis. So I went to Accra, the Accra Central, and I bought this Ghana Must Go bag. And I just bought exercise books, because I knew that when school reopens, everybody will buy books to write in. So I bought these fancy exercise books, and I just loaded it, and I went to campus. And when I got to campus, now going to sell it was difficult. So you know, so I was in my room the whole day. Then the following morning, I was like, Charlie, I've already invested my money, so let me. So I went to the first room. You know, normally when school reopens, the first week it's not very serious. So I went to a room, my colleague guys, and then the ladies they were watching some series. So I knocked in there and I came and I was like, Ro, what's up? So after the normal pleasantries, I was like, Charlie, I they sell books. So you know, they started, you know, boys. It's like, oh, Charlie, why? I they fear you know, that kind of thing. But they bought all the books.
Oh wow!
And then I went to the next room. I went back, filled my bag. They bought all the books. Then within 3 days, I sold all the books, and more demands were coming. Then someone came and it was like, in our days, we used to use a lot of pen drive. So you have all your stuff, your music, your project, everything on pen drive. Roland, do you have? I said, oh, I have some, but you give me advance, you know. And in Takwa, I went to School of Mines. In Takwa, the cost of living was very high. So stuff in Takwa can cost up to 4 times.
Wow.
That.
Because it's so far away.
Yeah, of what is in Accra here. So I was fortunate to find some, you know, wholesalers around the Accra stretch. And I spoke to a friend and I was like, hey, people are making demands of these things. So what happened was that if, let's say, the thing is 50 cedis in Accra, you buy it in Takwa like 300. So I will sell mine around 150. I'm in the middle.
In the
but
middle.
I'll take an advance of 100 cedis, and then I order the stuff. My friend will give it to a trotro driver. I'll
bring
deliver.
it all the way.
Yeah, and then I'll take my, and I kept. Then it went to laptops, and before I realized I was supplying
everything. Electronics.
Everything in electronics, and that was how I was able to kind of see myself through uni. Yeah.
Wow, I feel like you've just been a very independent person from the beginning, and that has fueled your business mind. That has fueled you to be able to be on your feet. So your skill, I mean, going back to when you said your boss asked you who are you, your skill has allowed you to be able to do all of these different. Have you ever won an award for your skills?
Yeah, I've won a couple for my works, and then individually. Yeah.
That's good. So it shows that your hard work pays off.
Yeah, it does.
So right now it is Motivational Monday. And even your story alone, just showing that you shared coming from a broken home and being by yourself, you had to fend for yourself, you had to think of a business idea to put yourself through school. There are lots of people that are watching that are probably in the same situation, probably going through the same thing, or they are just thinking, they're similar situation to you, but instead they're just like, all hope is lost. So do you have a word of motivation to really motivate them? They're watching.
Yeah, sure. I think I want to speak about the word of work, and it spanned from someone's post I saw recently on Facebook, where the person said that nowadays employing or working with these Gen Zs is an extreme sport, because you can't figure out what these people want. And I've had a couple of these people coming to me frustrated. Obviously, they read some motivational books. They feel that they can just change the world when they start work. I just want you to understand that it takes time. When you start your career, the first stage, you are just learning. Your business is investing in you, and you don't bring much to the table, and it's fine. Your job is to learn. Then you get to the stage whereby you become, what I call the underpaid achiever. You are beginning to add value, but you are not paid your due, and that one too is fine. Understand that it is a stage. Then you get to the stage whereby you become, reputable in your industry, whereby you now command the kind of salary you want. Multiple companies want to work with you, all right? Then you get to the stage whereby now your influence goes beyond, your field of work, and you are now like an industry reference point or an icon. People look up to you. Then you finally get into the space whereby what I call the legendary status, and around the legendary status, you just earn money without working. People will want to just associate with your name to because of the kind of value you bring to the table. So I just want to tell a lot of these young, entry level, university graduates who found work and are confused because they feel they don't know what is up there. It is a matter of time. Just learn. If you feel you're underpaid, it's a process. You will get there. Don't be frustrated and lose an opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah.
Thank you. And so where can we purchase some of these books that you have with some of these things?
Yeah. So my Facebook, I've run out of copies.
Hey, so if you have it, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You won't do any more?
Yeah. I have a second book. It's currently an editorial review. Maybe in the next 2 months it will be launched.
And how will we be able to purchase? Or where can we follow you so we can know where to purchase?
Yeah. So if you go on social media, you just type the Corporate Nosy Guy. On all handles, you find a lot of my content. I blog a lot. I shoot content that inspire and that also teach and motivate. So you can follow me across all the social media handles. And if there are new developments, you're going to find it there. So.
What's the handle?
Yeah, so it is the Corporate Nosy Guy.
The corporate?
The Corporate Nosy Guy.
The Corporate Nosy Guy.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you find me everywhere. And my personal handle is at Roland Ofori.
I love that. And also, guys, you know, if you did enjoy this conversation, then we are blessed and lucky to have Roland, who will be having a show on MX24 as well, coming up real soon, where we'll find out more about him or more stuff about the corporate industry as well. So make sure you stay tuned and you keep watching MX24 for that. But do follow him on his social medias if you want more information, more updates, more motivation as well. The corporate nosy guy. Thank you so much, Roland, for
Thanks so much for the
through.
opportunity.
And so, yes, up next, guys, is obviously The Plug with Adoma. But for now, why don't you enjoy her song, I Am Tar by Adoma. We'll see you after this.